welcome to the Bo's Nose. Got some special guests here with us today from the drone team. So who do we have with us today?
Brian Stauffer.
And Nate Sayers.
Welcome, so glad you could join us today. So the podcast starts off with the same three questions. First one being, what's your favorite subject or topic in school and why?
I would just have to say math because it's fairly binary. Reading is just far too subjective for my taste.
Personally, I like chemistry a lot because you kind of delve into the, makeup of our world and what makes things change and do stuff. So I think it's really cool and interesting.
Very cool. So next question. If you could have coffee with anyone dead or alive, who would it be and why?
I think I would have to say Neil Armstrong. I just want to ask him how it felt being the first, human to step foot on another planet or the moon, another celestial body, actually. It's got to be crazy to think about. So
I got to say Denzel Washington because he's pretty cool. He also probably gave me a whole bunch of wise words for my day.
Awesome. I will say on the Neil Armstrong, my great aunt actually went to high school with him.
Oh, wow.
So she actually has a yearbook with his picture in it. And I don't remember if he signed her yearbook or not, but it's sometimes weird how small the world is.
Exactly.
So last of our intro questions, quality, integrity, respect, which one and why?
I would have to say, that's a tough one. They're all fairly important. Maybe quality is what I'd say, because you can do a lot of work if you want, or you can do small amounts of quality work, and that's a lot better. So
I think integrity is probably really important because it shows people that you're dedicated to one thing or many things, and especially for college, you want to go into interact or your student government. It's really important that you actually show that your integrity is good, and you'll show up and do stuff and make things happen.
Very good. So switching gears, let's talk about the drone team a little bit. So tell our listeners a little bit about the drone team.
So the drone team is a yearly competition that what we do is we get a kit and we assemble a drone from bare parts, and you have to code the drone, you have to do all the wiring and make sure that everything works right for it to be able to fly. So you do a whole bunch of PID tuning to make sure it doesn't just flip over and crash. You have to make sure the motors spin the right direction. It's a lot of work, but at the end you have a finished drone that you can say you built, and you can watch it fly around, and it's a huge accomplishment.
That's awesome. So does every team get the same kit, or can you completely customize it? How does that work?
So every team gets the same base kit, but you can actually go through and make your own modifications if you want to. So one thing we're planning on doing this year is maybe 3D printing a decorative shell to go on the outside. I mean, it would also help with aerodynamics, but the main purpose would be to just make it look a lot fancier at the competition. So
okay. So kind of, I guess NASCAR similar, where everyone has the same base car and body, but you can tweak it to make it faster or perform better.
Yes, that's a good analogy.
That's awesome. So if someone wants to be a part of the drone team or drone club, how do they do that?
You just have to show up to the meetings and have a presence, and then you're basically part of it. So
awesome. Do you guys have regular meetings for that, or is it just a listen for announcements kind of thing?
So last year we had the meetings every Thursday. I believe this year it's also Thursday for the meetings. So yeah, so if you just show up at the first half of power hour, but usually the meetings span the whole power hour because we're doing just a lot of technical work. So
okay. And would you say you have to have that technical knowledge to be a part of it, or if someone just wants to kind of use it as an opportunity to learn, is there a place for them there as well?
Oh, you can definitely learn. Yes, if you want to, you can get involved, or you can just watch and kind of give ideas and help people out. But I mean, there's a wide range of things you can do, from coding to assembling to just reading out instructions. Something as simple as that helps a lot. So
awesome. So why did the two of you choose to get involved with the drone team?
So I had been in aerospace 1 and 2 for the past 2 years, thinking around 9th and 10th grade, and I was just minding my own business, going along with my Asian classes, and Colonel Ski asked me if I wanted to be a part of the drone team, and I was like, it was the end of the year, so I said, why not? I'll just join this and see what happens from it, because I want to go to college, so the more I have on my actual application of groups and stuff I was a part of, I thought it'd be a good idea. So I went into it, and it was me, Brandon, Mark, as well as another kid. But me, Brandon, and Mark specifically worked together on this thing called the Drone Olympics, where we did 4 separate tasks, competing with a whole bunch of other schools, and we ended up coming first place in I think 3 or 2 of them.
I think it was 3 of them. We came first place in all of the competitions that we competed in. The only one that we didn't win first place in, we didn't put an entry. So
yeah, so we the only one we couldn't do was a drone swarm, which is pretty much where you get I think it's 3 drones minimum, and you pretty much make them dance together, or they synchronize in movements to a singular song. But we couldn't do that because the actual software wasn't available to us. But everything else we did a really good job on. Very good learning experience for me especially, and I'm still in it today.
Awesome. Yeah, I do believe you guys have brought home some hardware for the school from those competitions, so that's great. You both have kind of alluded to it a little bit, but what's your favorite part of the drone team?
I'd say specifically probably just working together and feeling like you've actually done something. Seeing your work move and actually do something cool is very interesting to me, especially getting awarded for it, saying that what you put out was the highest quality work out of everybody else.
I think what's really cool is just seeing at the beginning of the year you have a box of parts and none of them work together. They're all just separate. Then at the end you assemble it all together and you know how every single part works in unison to make the drone fly. Like there's not a lot of things you can say that, like a smartphone. You can't say what every part is, but the drone, like it's just cool to be able to do that. So
that's cool to be able to know every last piece of what
Yes.
it does and why you need it or why you don't need it. That's awesome. So we talked about how students can get involved. If they want to know more, should they just reach out to the 2 of you, or is there a website about the Drone Olympics, or is coming to the meeting one of the best places for students to get more information?
if they want to reach out to us, that's perfectly fine. They could come up to us and just ask questions, or just show up to a meeting and we should be there. So yeah.
Awesome. Do you guys have anything else to add about the drone team?
Yeah, I'd like to say, even if you're not very interested in just drones in particular, if you like team building and working together, there's a lot of things like we do presentations. We have a lot of fun with each other, just, having relationships and being friends and hanging out, making stuff work. And, just like the last time we made a presentation of our drone and what we use it for. We actually, we decided on what it was going to be, a rescue drone. It's spot fishing. It's spot fish in water, and we had a ton of fun recording. It's pretty much an entire slideshow that also had videos on it that explained everything and how it worked and what it would do. So it's more than just building and coding if you're not particularly interested in that.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys for taking time and being on the podcast. And hope you enjoyed the interview with the drone team. Our intro and outro music for this episode is brought to you by our very own Mr. Bergen, and my co-collaborator on this podcast. If you like this episode, please be sure to give us a follow on wherever you get this podcast. And if you really like what you heard, please consider giving us a review so that we can try to grow our audience. This is the Bo's Nose, and remember, excellence in all endeavors.